Hey there, everybody. Welcome. I am Rusty. I'm pulling up the correct puzzle to solve for today. Puzzles. We've got two of them. Today is the 13th of January, my youngest's birthday. And it's a Tuesday, so we get two puzzles for Tuesday. We do a easy puzzle, which I'm loading up right now. And we do a medium puzzle, which we'll load up and start solving after we get done with solving the easy puzzle. Last couple of easy puzzles have been fairly easy to get solved. That's not always a given. I've seen easy puzzles that stumped me for way too long, and easy puzzles that were solved in mere minutes. Well, a mere handful of minutes, we'll say, i.e. not even 10 minutes or 5 minutes. Doesn't always happen, and that's kind of normal. So, all right, this should be the puzzle, and let's get this started. All right, you get 20 seconds to grab a screenshot, see if you can solve any of this before I really start taking a look and trying to solve entries into it. Another 10 seconds, and I give you that opportunity because some of you aren't subscribed aren't following me on Blue Sky, or don't have the Sudoku Puzzle or Sudoku Store followed to get the information about when the puzzles are coming up or being posted. And so this kind of gives you the opportunity to see if you can do a quick grab of the puzzle and solve it yourself. All right, that's the ones. There's a 2 there. One of these is going to be a 2, don't know which. I got 2 possibilities here, though. And let's see, this is going to be a 2, so that's 1. That becomes a 1. Okay. Anything else? We got 2 possibilities for a 2 there. We got 3 possibilities here, which I don't key in. So on to 3s. Got a 3 here and 1 here. So one of these 2 is a 3. I've got 3 possibilities there, 4 possibilities there, 5 here and here, and we're kind of uncontested here and here. Looks like that's it for 3s for now. On to 4s, we get 2 possibilities up here. And let's see, anything else? One of these 2 is going to be a 4. We've got 3 possibilities here. That means one of these 2 is going to be a 4. And like I said, we've got those 2 there. These 3 here. And it looks like 5 possibilities here. All right, how about 5s? Well, this can't be a 5, so that makes this one into a 5. One of these 3 will as well be a 5. One of these 2 is a 5. Let's see, anything else? One of these 2. That one or this one is a 5. Okay, 3 possibilities here. And up here, no real helpful constraints. Got those 2 already earmarked. And 3 possibilities here. So on to 6s. We got a 6 here. 3 possibilities there. 2 possibilities here. 3 possibilities there. 3 possibilities there. 4 possibilities here. And wide open here. 3 possibilities and 3 possibilities. So on to 7s. One of these 3 or 2, 3 are going to be a 7. We get 2 possible 7s here. We got these 2 already marked. One of these, nope, one of these 3 is going to be a 7. Over here, we get a 7 here, which means 2 possibilities here. And that's as far as we can take this on 7s. So on to 8. What do we got here? 3 possibilities for an 8 here. 3 possibilities here as well. 4 possibilities here. And all 3 of these potentially are 8s. 4 possibilities here. 5 possibilities here. And that's going to do it for 8s at the moment. How about 9s? One of these 2 is going to be a 9. I get 2 possibilities here. 3 possibilities here. Open here. 4 possibilities here. 9 here. That changes this to 2 possibilities. And my sister-in-law just got home, so that's maybe going to affect things. We'll see. Looks like that's it for 9s. We picked up some numbers that changed a few options, so let's take a look through here. 1, 2, still no help for 3s. One of these 2 is a 4 or 5, and kind of wide open on 6s. How about down here? We've got a singleton 5 here now, and one of these 3 is going to be a 6. That means we've now got 2 possibilities for a 5 there, where we only had, or we had 3 before. That means one of these 2 is a 5, and one of these 3 is a 5, and unfortunately 2 wide open up here. All right, how about 6s again? We got these 2 are 6, 3 possibilities there, 3 possibilities here, 3 possibilities there, here, 4 possibilities here. Okay, 7s, 3 possibilities for a 7 there, there. All right. 8s, same problem as before. Nothing really, well, one of these 2 is going to be an 8. Doesn't really narrow these down any. 3 possibilities there, 3 here. But 9s to see if we get anything useful out of that. Oh, that can't be a 7. Oh, of course not, because this is a 7. Never mind, that's a 7 now. That makes this a 7. This becomes a 9. And this becomes a 9. We have 2 possibilities here now. 2 possibilities for a 9 there. That becomes a 9, so that's a 9, and that's a 9. All right, 2, 3. 3 can be any of these. 4, 5. We got these 2 for 5, 6, 7, and one of these 2 is an 8. Okay. One down here, one of these 2 is an 8. We got 1, 2, 2 possibilities for 3 now. 4, 5. How about 6s? 2 possibilities for a 6, 7, and 3 possibilities for an 8. So it's looking less and less like this might be an 8. We'll see. Over here, we've got 2 possibilities for an 8. Got a 1, a 2, or a 3. Do we get anything useful for 3s? Not yet. So all 4 of these could be a 3. We get a 4, 2 possibilities for 5, 3 possibilities for 6. Actually, 2 possibilities for 6. This says that this won't be a 6. It's going to be one of these two. One of these three will be a 6. Don't know which yet. How about over here? Do we get anything useful out of this one? Well, these two can't be a 6. That would be one of these three. And no, does not help me here. So it's not going to help me really here. All right, 7. One of these two is now a 7. It can't be this one, so that's a 7. Now one of these two is a 7. All right, 8s, those two. One of those two is an 8, so that can't be an 8. That's going to be an 8. That makes that a 5. And one of these two will now be a 3. So this will not be a 3. That will be a 3. One of these two will be an 8. Goes with one of these two, and one of these two being an 8. All right. That means that one of these two is an 8. 1, 2. That means that the missing ones are all in here. One of these three is going to be a 3, and one of them is going to be a 6. Let's see if we can narrow that down a little bit here. All right, now we got a 5 and an 8 here, and that makes this into a 3. So that turns that into a 3. That becomes a 6. This becomes an 8. 8 and 6 here. 8 and 4 here. Not sure there yet. This becomes an 8. That becomes a 7. 6 and 3 here. That means one of these two is going to be a 3. This one gets to be a 6. And that means down here, this is a 6. That becomes a 2. And we got a 4 dropping in there. That means this is going to be our 4. One of these is going to be a 2. It's going to be one of these two. 3s, 4. So one of these 3 is going to be a 5. Don't know which at this point. No narrowing down on that. However, this does get narrowed down to one of those two being a 3. And this one here is going to be a 6. That means we've got a 6 here, 7 here, one of these two is a 2. One of these two is a 3. This one is a 4. That makes this a 4, this a 3. That makes this a 3, this a 2. We got a 1, 2, 3, 4. One of these two is a 5. And the other is an 8. And this can't be an 8, so that's an 8, that's a 5. This is an 8, this is a 5. And let's see, that means this becomes a 5. This is a 3, and this becomes a 2. And we're done with the first puzzle in 12 minutes and 13 seconds. Which is not bad. Sorry, I had to record that for when I post the reply or the notices. All right, plus the results, I should say. Okay, this is our medium puzzle now. They tend to take a little longer, but not always. So let's see what we can do with this. And a 9, 6, 8, 2 here. Again, once I get the clock started on this, you'll have the first 20 seconds to make a screenshot, see if you can solve it before I get done. Some of that may very well just be following along and seeing if you can figure out what I just saw. But it does change from time to time. All right. Hit the check mark. It says the clock is running, so we got another 15 seconds. Do you think that my giving everybody the time to try solving it on their own is a good idea? Feel free to leave a comment one way or the other. All right, we're at 20 seconds, so and let's see. This one's going to be a 1. One of these two will be a 1, and one of these two will be a 1. One of these three is going to be a 2, but it's not going to be one of these two. Therefore, we can now mark it one of these two. Actually, we can clear those two. It's going to be one of these two. That would be possibly that. Yep. Over here, we've got these blocked. These are blocked. These two are blocked. So one of these two will be a 2. Up here, I've got 3 possibilities. We get a 2 dropped in here. Clears up that one. And that looks like it for 2s at the moment. How about 3s? We get a 3 here. One of these 3 will be a 3. Got 4 possibilities up here. 5 possibilities here, but it's going to be one of these two because I have no 3s in these 3 or in these 3, and it has to be in this column. So that narrows that down substantially, doesn't it? All right, one of these 5 is a 3. I've got 3 possibilities here, 5 possibilities there, and 5 up here as well. 4 up here. All right, how about 4s? One of these two is, nope, not that one. That's a 4. Down here, one of these two is a 4. That means this one's a 4. We've got a 4 going in here as a result. One of these two is a 4 now. And that's it for 4s until we get something else disambiguated. Get a 5 here. So one of these two is a 5. One of these two is a 5. I've got 6 possibilities here, 3 possibilities here, 5 possibilities here, 3 possibilities there, 5 here, and those 2. All right. 6s. Well, one of these 2 is a 6. That goes with the result of that. We can now identify the 3 that are in here. Looks like we've got a 3. It's going to be one of these 2. A 7. It's going to be this one. And that makes that into a 3, and that leaves the 8 here. Okay. We were looking at 6s, though. Do we have anything else useful out of that? Not right off the top of my head, I don't see anything. So, move on to 7s. Again, or at least the first time, perhaps. So I've got 4 possibilities of 7 there, 2 possibilities here, 2 possibilities here, and 4 possibilities for a 7 here. All right, 8 gives me 2 possibilities for an 8 down here. One of these 2 will be an 8. We get one of these 2 being an 8. One of these 3 is going to be an 8, and that gives me 5 possibilities for an 8 here. 9s, we've got 2 possibilities for a 9 here. It matches up with those 2 possibilities for a 9. here, we've got 2 possibilities for a 9 there, 2 possibilities here, and down here we get a 9 to fill in. All right, that all changes a few things. Let's see, we get a 1, 2, so one of these 4 is going to be a 3. This doesn't narrow it down enough. One of these 2 is a 4, 5, 6, and one of these 2 is a 7. All right. Up here, we've got 1 already. 2 is going to be one of these 3. How about 3s? No help with 3s. I've still got all 5 of them as possibilities. 4, 5. 5 possibilities for a 6, 7. 2 possibilities for 8, 2 possibilities for a 9. All right, how about over? Let's check through here again. 1, 2, 3, 4. So one of these 3 is a 5. One of them is a 6. And then 2 of them have possibilities being 9. That was not as useful as I would like. Oh well. Here we've got 4 possibilities for 3. 4 there. 6 possibilities for 5. Looks like 6 possibilities for 6 as well. 4 possibilities for 7. 2 for an 8, and a 9 is provided. Down here we got 1, 2, and one of these 3 is a 3. 4, 5, 6. One of these 2 is a 7. Okay, we get some narrowing down. One of these 2 is an 8. Okay, that may help at some point, but I've still got 3 possibilities for 3. Okay, if we can narrow this down to any one of those options, it does kind of clear everything else up there. All right, 1, 2. All 4 of them could be 3. Get a 4. 5 is going to be one of these 3. 6 is going to be one of the 4. 7 and 8 is a possibility here, but it could also be in any one of these. All right. At this point, I'm going to do a flood. We're going to put all the possible 3s in there, and here. Here we've got 5 possibilities. Actually, we have 2 possibilities there. That's right. Here we've got 4 possibilities. Up here we've got 5 possibilities. And we get 2 possibilities for 3 here. And with this one here, I hadn't seen that earlier. Here we end up with 5 possibilities. Okay, 4s, I think are all marked at this point. Yep. 5s, we got a 5 here, so 3 or 4 or 5 possibilities for 5 there. 2 here, 2 here. 3 possibilities for 5 there. 4 possibilities here. 3 possibilities here. Down here, everything had the possibility of being a 5. Kind of annoys me. Down here, we've got a 5 in the square already, so that's done. 6s. Got a 6 here. And this was another one of those where everything's available as a 6 here. Okay, I cleared out 5s instead of adding 6s. That's better, I suppose. Here we've got everything's optioned to the 6. We've got 4 possibilities, or 5 possibilities here, and 5 possibilities here. And up here we've got 4 possibilities for a 6. What a 7? There. These 2. Okay, we're done with 7s it looks like. 8s, we got these 2 down here. 2 possibilities here. 2 possibilities here. And everything's open for 8s here. And 2 possibilities there. 9s. We got those 2 as possible 9s. These 2. Not that one. Oh, none of these. 9 up here. And we got a 9 down here. So, do we get anything useful out of that? What's this? We got a standalone 3, perhaps? Do a quick check. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 are all in straight lines from it, so that is a 3. We got a 7, 9 pair here now. Ooh, 5, 6, 5, 6. That means this cannot be 5 or 6. That can't be a 6. This can't be a 5 or 6. That makes this a 3, this an 8, and that's a 2. All right, now we got 8, 6 pair here, so this can't be a 6, nor that, nor that. That makes this into a 5. We got a 1, 4 here, a 3, 4, 1, and that makes this a 2. This becomes a 6. We get a 4 here. We got 2 possibilities for a 9 here. What am I missing? Well, let's clean up these 7 and 5. May not be the correct ones there, but we'll see. 1. So what about 2s? We get a 2 here. That cleans that up. 9. That turns this into a 6. I got an 8, 3 here. That makes this into an 8. This becomes a 3. This becomes a 6. Pair of 5s here. This becomes a 3. And down here, what am I missing? 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like one of these 2 should be a 9. Nope, there's a 9 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't be a 6. Oh, we have a problem. This has to be a 6. So let's back out to that point. Or, yeah, let's back out to that point. If we can. There we go. So go with 8 and 2 here. That makes this into a 9. So a 6 here, 9, 2 here, 8, 5, 6, 5, 6. So that makes this a 3. This becomes a 3 and 8 here, 5, 6 pair. 7, 3, 8 here. 4, 7, 5, 3. 2 and 4. And did we pick anything useful up out of it? Well, sort of. We've got a loop of 5 6s here. This 9 can become a 9. Turns this into a 7 and a 9 here. This becomes a 7. Get a 5 6 5 6. So this is a 1. Oh, we get 5 6 3 times. Let's undo that 1. And let's see, what am I missing? We'll get 1s, 2. Where's a 3? This can't be a 3 now because that's a 3. Okay. I am going to back all the way out, and we're going to do a flood fill from the beginning. We've been in here for 15 minutes already, so I am okay with doing that. As we do a flood fill, some of it may become obvious that it needs to be filled. I will fill those. I will not fill the ones that I need to work through what they are until we've got everything flooded through the 9s. I can see that 1 is going to be an obvious one, though. There's a 1 here that becomes a 1. So flood fill says one of those 2 is a 1, and one of these 2 is a 1. All right, 2s, and one of these, nope, not that. One of these 2 is a 2. I've got 3 possible 2s here, 3 possible 2s here, a 2 here. That makes this a 2, turns this into, nope, undo that. Just one of those 2 is going to be a 2. Up here, still have 2 possibles up here. All right, 3s. So all 4 of these can be 3. Here we've got 3 possibilities. 5 possibilities here. 5 there. 3 possibilities here. I'm not going to flood where we've already figured out that, yeah, it has to be one of these 2 or 3. All right, 4s. The 4 here. This one's going to be a 4. One of these 2 is going to be a 4. One of these 3 is going to be a 4. I've got 4 in that square. This one's going to be a 4. So now one of these 2 instead of 3 of those. Here we get a 4 going there as well. All right, 5. So one of these 2 is going to be a 5. One of these 2 will be a 5. I've got 4 possibilities there. 3 possibilities here. 5 possibilities here. 6 possibilities of a 5 here. 3 possibilities here. And that's it for 5s. 6s. And I've got 5 possible 6s here. 5 here as well. Different 5. Obviously. I think anyway. One of these two is a 5, so that's not a 3. Okay, and that makes sense. One of these two will have to be a 3. Back to 6 or 5s? No, 6s. We get 3 possible 6s here, 6 possible here, 4 possible 6s here, 4 possible 6s here. And we got a 6 here already. All right. 7s. We got 4 possible 7s here. And 2 possible 7s there. Not going to be one here because of this. One of these two is a 7. This one becomes a 7. And we end up with 3 possibilities down here. One of these 3 is going to be an 8. This one's going to be an 8. One of these 2 will be an 8. One of these 2 is an 8. And we've got 5 possibilities here. 2 possibilities here. Not quite the matchup I was looking for, but we get what we get. We get a 9 here and here, meaning that this one is going to be not an 8, a 9. Get a 9 here. One of these two will be a 9. I've got 2 possibilities there. One of these two will be a 9. One of these two will be a 9. All right, we're back to that 3 standalone here. Get 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So yeah, this is a 3, leaving us with a 7, 9 pair there. Up here, we've got a 5, 6 to go with this 5, 6, but nothing else to contend with on that. We have 5, 6 here. I'm not seeing any place where that ties in yet until one of these two becomes a 9. All right. Oh, 3. And 3 is the only thing in the row. So 5, 6 pair here. Doesn't conflict with anything down here. 5, 6, 5, 6. That makes this into a 9. And neither of those can be 5 or 6 or 5. So 8, 3 pair here. 5, 6, 5, 6 turns that into a 9. 5, 6, 5, 6. 8, 3, 8, 3, 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6. A lot of triplets there. We'll see if that becomes useful in a moment. 7 and 9 here. 5, 6, 5, 6 means not a 5 or a 6 there. 7, 3 pair. And let's see. 8, 3, 8, 3. Neither 8 or 3 here or here. Or here. This is the only 9 left in the row. We get a 6, 2, 5, 6, 5, 6, 2, 8, 3 pair, 8, 6, 3. That's the only 8 in the square. So 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 2, 3. 5, 6, 5, 6 makes this not a 5, 6 into an 8. So now I've got a 7, 3 pair here. This becomes an 8 and a 3 up here. Now we get this one becoming a 6. This one's a 3. 6, 2, 6, 2. We'll come back to that. 8, 3, 5, 2, 8. This now can't be a 6, so it's going to be a 2. That's a 6. This becomes a 5, 6 and 5 here, 6 and 5 here, 3, 4, 7 and 5, 3 and 7, 1, 7, 3, 5 and 6, 5, 6. Yes, there's a critical mass point, 1, 2, and 6 to solve. 25 minutes and 25 seconds to complete this one. How did you do? I think that was not too bad. I'd like to have seen better times on that, but considering that once I committed to the flood fill, it took me all of about 10 minutes to complete. Not too bad. But then we had already learned things like the 3 being here and a few other things. In any case, I want to say thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you have a good day, and we'll look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.